Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mike. You guys are rocking with me on Mike's Intellectual Corner. On today's episode, we are going to dive back into simple history. This is the Schwerer Gustav rail supergun. Without further ado, we're just going to dive right into it. Let's go.
The Schwerer Gustav rail supergun, World War II. The Schwerer Gustav was the largest artillery gun ever made. Before the Second World War had started, Hitler required a devastating weapon for the invasion of France that could destroy the Maginot Line, penetrating its several layers of concrete and steel.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, too, the round that was needed for that type of penetration is, I'm pretty sure, it's about as tall as me. I'm about 6'2", 6'3", so that's about as tall, probably a little bit even taller than that. That's how big those rounds were. That's insane.
Several layers of concrete and steel. The Schwerer Gustav was designed in 1934 by the German arms manufacturer Krupp. This giant railway gun weighed 1,350 tons and had an overall length of 47.3 meters, or 155 feet 2 inches. It was mounted on a railway chassis running on specially constructed tracks and had to be disassembled and assembled to set up. Even a set.
Yeah, so obviously it doesn't sound super practical. That's probably why they didn't use it as much. I think they, like I said, they wanted to use it for the Maginot Line, but they ended up using it in Sevastopol, if I'm not mistaken, when on the siege of Sevastopol. But yeah, that's what it doesn't sound like super practical, though. It sounds amazing, but yeah.
And had to be disassembled and assembled to set up. Even a set of outer tracks were required for the cranes to achieve this. Its barrel length was 32.5 meters, or 106 feet 8 inches, and could only move up or down at an elevation of 48 degrees, with horizontal targeting achieved via curved tracks. The weapon caliber was 80 centimeters, or 31 inches, and the heavy concrete.
Yeah, so never mind. Obviously, I was wrong, but yeah, that's probably like obviously two of me, so that's probably like 12 feet. So damn, that's crazy. Like 12 feet just to do this. So obviously you need a crane to work this entire gun. Again, doesn't sound very practical, but sounds freaking devastating, you know?
Meters, or 31 inches, and the heavy concrete piercing or high explosive shells weighed 7 tons, making them the largest and heaviest shells of any artillery piece in the world. The gun could fire over a range of 47 kilometers or 29 miles. After a number of shells were fired, the barrel would wear away and need replacing. The artillery gun required a staggering number of crew. 250 crewmen were required to assemble the gun, which took 3.5 days, while 2,500 crewmen were needed to lay the tracks. Flak battalions were also a necessity to protect the gun from air attacks, as it was highly visible due to its size. The Schwerer Gustav would be constructed throughout the 30s.
But I wonder how many people it took to actually, work it. Like, what's the actual gun crew number? That's what I want to know. Obviously, being a can crewman, I want to see, like, it'd be amazing to be a gunner on this thing, just freaking point it and just, whoo, you know what I'm saying? That'd be crazy.
Schwerer Gustav would be constructed throughout the 30s, but it would not enter service until 1941, therefore missing the French invasion. The gun would be transported to the Eastern Front and used at the siege of Sevastopol, where 4,000 men were required to set it up in position. It fired 300 shells at several enemy positions, including Soviet fortresses and ammunition magazines.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's what I'm pretty sure it was used for, is just to penetrate like 32 feet or something like that, super deep into the ground. Of those ammunition bunkers and stuff like that that were dug into those. And obviously they're going to do the same thing over there. Yeah.
Soviet fortresses and ammunition magazines. After this, the Schwerer Gustav was transported to Leningrad, but the attack was cancelled. It is unknown whether there was a second gun constructed, or whether it was a nickname by the German artillery crew, but in 1942, Dora, as it became known, was operational at Stalingrad, but withdrawn by the Germans. During 1942, the Germans proposed to construct a new version of the gun, mounted on a self-propelled.
That thing would be ripping up the freaking ground, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever is behind it is no more operational for use unless you want to use it as a trench or something like that. That would be insane.
During 1942, the Germans proposed to construct a new version of the gun, mounted on a self-propelled platform that could move without railway tracks, called the Landcruiser P-1500 Monster. However, the idea was eventually scrapped. As the war was coming to an end, the Schwerer Gustav, some sources say, was destroyed by the Germans to prevent capture on the 14th of April 1945, and its ruins studied by Soviet
I
specialists.
mean, it makes sense that they dismembered it. Otherwise, I can definitely see the Soviets trying to use that on the siege of, or the Battle of Berlin, trying to get into that bunker to get Hitler out. You know what I'm saying? I could definitely see that.
Overall, the Schwerer Gustav was quite an impractical weapon, demanding a large number of crew and setup to become operational.
Alright guys, we'll go ahead and end it right there. So yeah, another great simple history video. I love these. But without further ado though, thank you guys again for joining me on another episode of Micah's Intellectual Corner. I'll see you guys on another one. Out. Peace.